Victoria's opposition leader will this morning face a leadership challenge after months of intense scrutiny. Joining us live from Melbourne now is Patrick Murrell. Pat, good morning. Who's challenging him?
Well, Pete, Brad Battin will be one moving the leadership spill motion against opposition leader Michael O'Brien here at Parliament House at a Liberal Party room meeting at 8:45 this morning. Mr Battin is the member for Gembrook, a seat in Melbourne's outer southeastern suburbs, which he holds by just 0.8%. He is the Shadow Minister for Roads and Youth Justice and a former police officer. If his spill motion is successful, then it is unlikely Mr O'Brien will contest the position, and it is more likely that Mr Battin will instead be up against former opposition leader Matthew Guy and potentially even Shadow Treasurer Louise Staley. Now, this is something that has been talked about for months. Mr O'Brien has faced intense scrutiny and speculation over his position, given some pretty bleak polling numbers and a low personal approval rating. It's understood that this has been in the works for a while, but Liberals here in Victoria had been spooked over the weekend at the results of the WA election and are fearful that they may face a similar wipeout at the next state election in Victoria next year. Now, as of last night, the numbers were pretty tight, so there's no guarantee the spill motion will get up in the first place. And indeed, there's reporting out just this morning that Mr Battin has failed to get the numbers and that Mr O'Brien will survive this quite comfortably. Of course, we will bring you those results as soon as they come in later this morning.
And meanwhile, Pat, Parliament is back today, but without the Premier.
Yeah, that's right, Pete. This is the first sitting of the Victorian Parliament since Premier Daniel Andrews had that unfortunate accident. He has been discharged from hospital and is now recovering at home and has taken medical leave for at least the next 6 weeks to recover from those broken ribs and that damaged spine. Doctors say he's lucky to come away with those injuries and that he could potentially have even come away with permanent spinal injuries if the damage was even worse. But he is recovering at home. James Merlino, for at least the next 6 weeks, will be the acting Premier. Difficult job to walk into at the best of times, but given the internal turmoil with the Liberal Party, these next few days at least will be pretty easy for Mr Merlino.
All right, Pat Murrell, appreciate that. Thank you, Pat. We'll talk to you soon.